and today what are you doing? Okay, thanks very much. Alrighty, so who's been to Australia? Anyone had the opportunity to come down under? So what we've got, this is not working, but it's okay. So we're based here on the eastern seaboard in New South Wales, so not far from Byron Bay, Coffs Harbour, but we're inland, and so we have a very cool climate. And we're a very old university. We were first established in 1938 as a part of Sydney University, and we became fully independent in 1954. We are one of Australia's biggest campuses that teaches online, but we also teach on campus as well. So we have students all around the world. I've got a student in Brazil who's writing up at the moment. Others, all our staff have students that they're supervising all around the world. But we also do online very, very well. Now, is this going to... Yep, we're good. Okay, so we're the only university to be awarded the maximum 5-star for student satisfaction, actually for the last 12 years, I've been told. I'm out of date with that by 2. And that's because we've started doing this back in the 1950s, in the old days where we wrote books and sent them through the mail to students. Actually, some of our students still like to get stuff in the mail, and we do that as well. And as technology's improved, of course, we've gone fully digital, so we're online. And you're all familiar with Moodle as the learning management system, so we're big users of Moodle. And so what our staff do, because we're in a regional location where it's not so busy, we're not spending 3 hours in traffic getting to our jobs, people are quite relaxed and have a very tailored relationship with our students. So our staff spend a lot of time online with their students on Moodle, not just the tutors, but the lecturers and the professors as well. Because learning is a big part of what we enjoy doing and teaching about, and our research is very much part of our teaching. And we feel the best teachers are those that are highly recognised as researchers, and they put the latest information into their teaching notes. So the International Student Barometer for 2017, UNE was ranked first in e-learning in Australia. And for a lot of students, yeah, they'd love to come to Australia, they'd like to spend some time there, but they're actually working and they can't do that. They've got families, they've got commitments back in their countries, and they want flexibility. And we recognised this a long time ago and have become very good at it. We have particular strengths in agriculture, business and nursing, and we've got many of our staff are recognised internationally as excellent educators. So of course I'm going to say that because I'm from UNE, but a lot of staff like it so much they stay. I've been at my university for 25 years, and that's not unusual. Staff really see it as their place of work. They buy into the proposition of being excellent educators. So we have, within my faculty, we have 4 schools. We have science and agriculture, environment, technology, law, and we also have the UNE Business School, which I'm minding at the moment as head of school. And within that we have 3 big disciplines: accounting and finance, marketing and management, and economics and agribusiness. And within each of those areas we have researchers that are really good at what they do. So we have online degrees in each of these areas, and the big one which I'd like to talk about during this trip to Malaysia is our Bachelor of Business, which is a really important degree. Our vision is that we'll actively create opportunities and partnerships for our students, and this is really important. You know, it's lifelong learning. It's about our students having opportunities delivered with us to meet and work with industry. So we like to see students undertaking industry partnerships, you know, getting that toe in the door, getting recognised. And so our students work very heavily with industry, and that ethos is what we intend to bring to our international work now, because we have a very, very big alumni in Malaysia. 370 students have come through UNE in the last few years from Malaysia. They probably came on campus. Some of them may have had a blended learning on campus and then gone back home and been online. And I think just in this KL district there's about 70 that we know of that we're hoping to meet soon. So it's that network that we want to have our new students at UNE tap into, because these people are already working in businesses that you want to work in. So we need to get those relationships going. So the Alumni Partnership is very much part of the UNE story. Yes, we want to meet our challenges for our global business needs. And so that means having staff that can look after our students' education needs. And I have 3 course coordinators that look after our degrees, and Dr. Sujana Adapa, she is looking after our business degrees. She's from Malaysia. She worked at our university over here and chose to come to Australia and be at UNE. So Sujana is helping me make sure that our courses are ready for that international market. You know, if you're studying online, I bet you find it really difficult getting access to books and so forth. You know, who can afford to pay out hundreds of dollars, ringgit, in a textbook that you might only need for a few weeks? Our model is different. We want our books to be e-books that you can look at any time that you want to. And so before coming over here for our first years, I've been making sure our e-books are ready to go. I really think that's unfair these days that the big publishing companies have got such a big tight rein over the hard copy. So these course coordinators help you build out your degree and what you want to do, and they are at the end of an email to answer any questions. So we're well supported by our staff in this area. Here's a little bit about them. Omar looks after accounting and a number of postgraduate degrees. Sujana, as I mentioned, she's got a big lot of stuff that she looks after, our diplomas, our bachelors and so forth, our MBAs, and Sean looking after more the economics and the agribusiness side of things, and a fabulous team to work with. So our LMS is Moodle, which I understand you're very familiar with. We have behind the scenes what we call ed developers. These are people that only do Moodle stuff. They're there to answer questions, but they're there to really help the teaching staff have the best learning platform that they can possibly have. And we're pretty happy with that. And then the other thing about going to university, whether you're on campus or online, is that there's a whole bunch of other things that happens outside of the classroom at UNE. So our students are involved in opportunities. We have on our blog for any of the units, we have opportunities listed that the students can participate in activities, careers, cadetships, international study. At UNE, you're allowed to go and take a unit somewhere else in the world. We encourage it. We want you to get out and understand the international domain. My students have studied in Tanzania, in Borneo, in Bhutan, to name a few places. And these opportunities come up on our active Moodle chat boards. So there's an expectation on all our students to participate in our chat rooms, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. We also have blogs that allow us to get our information out about the activities that we've got, and I'll be bringing up tomorrow a bunch of handbooks and so forth about UNE, follow some of these things up in more detail. But have a look at us on Facebook, on Twitter, and you can see that our students are all around the world undertaking really exciting projects. We've just come back from Brazil, where we were winners in one of the agribusiness study tours. So it's not just about agriculture, but it's about small business, which can, of course, apply in most parts of the world. And we also have trips to China, and in other parts of the school we've got trips going to Botswana and Bhutan soon. We have an incubator. An incubator is a place where startups get their opportunities, right? And students can be part of this. understanding how to set up a startup, where to get money from, how to approach venture capitalists and so forth. This has got heavy funding from our state government, the New South Wales state government, to get our local farmers understanding how to set up small business and so forth. But also, e-commerce is really important in this space. We're not just in Armidale, we're not just in regional New South Wales, we also have a campus in Sydney. And it's not that old, it's not unlike this building actually, the facilities. And that's another place where students can come across and live in Sydney, study with us, and have their graduations in Sydney or in Armidale. And so the Sydney School of Entrepreneurship runs out of there. Check it out. It's a great place for people to see what's going on. There's always heaps of information and opportunities there. And then within the school, within the university, within the School of Business, there are a number of areas of research importance. The Centre for Agribusiness, they specialise in creating opportunities for commercialising business, supporting leadership. There's a Centre for Local Government. Now that might sound, well, how is that of interest to someone living overseas? But we all have to deal with local governments, right? Whether it's setting up a business, whether it's buying land, whether it's moving and around and meeting people and networking, understanding how local government works in a Commonwealth country like Malaysia is just as important as it is in Australia. So we have a centre with that, and we also have a fairly active outside of university group called UNE Introduction, and this is about our alumni making opportunities for our students. I think that's about all I want to say, Tamil. Other than just to say we're pretty ordinary looking university in Australia in terms of what it looks like. A subject is called UNE, a unit of study. A unit is worth 6 credit points. A diploma is 8 units of study. A bachelor is 24 units. It's probably fairly similar to you. And we're looking at arrangements for advanced standing, where UNE gives you credit for prior learning, other subjects you've taken at other places, or indeed that very important work experience that people have. Working in the learning in the workplace is a really important aspect to advanced standing that we're interested in helping our students with. And that's an aerial view of our campus. We're 20,000 students, 23,000 students. In my faculty, our turnover is around $20 million Australian. We have about 350 staff and HDR students, postgraduate students, we have around 400 of those. So it's a fairly vibrant place, and it's just a wonderful place to live and work. But it's also a place where we're very much supporting our online students. Okay, thank you very much. Any questions you might have?
Any questions? I think we briefed them before.
Okay, so I'll be around for the next few days, and so you're very welcome to come and see me about any aspect of this.
Sure.
And talk about our courses. Good, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.